Hi friends, my name is Nikki and we call this the Source Clarity Community. Thank you so much for watching this video. I am so excited about today's topic. I'm going to share a little bit of a vulnerable story. Now, it actually might seem a little bit twisted because the title of this video is Just Ask and It Will Be Received. Well, actually, I don't know what we'll title this video exactly. But the whole point of this story is, okay, okay, I got this. I'm going to restart. No, I'm not. Okay. I'm gonna keep this going. Okay. I wanna share a story. Do I give up? No, I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna share a story with you that's gonna give you some insight as to how you can begin to call on something bigger than yourself to create circumstances and experiences or attract things that you're asking for. It's gonna be a little bit twisted when I share this story because my story has to do with when me and my partner at the time separated, went our own separate ways, but how that allowed me to actually overcome something that was just too difficult, too much of a burden for me to do in my own life. And so it's a pretty cool story. It involves intuition and how mind-blowing intuition is. What did it say? Just ask and it will be given? Yeah, like just ask and you'll receive. We'll see what we'll title this video, but it's something along the lines of that. When you're feeling like life is just too much of a burden for you and you need to call on something higher than yourself, bigger than you, how you can harness support in your life. So I was in a relationship years ago, lasted for about 2.5 years, and me and this person, we kind of knew that our time together was concluding. When you develop your intuition, it's pretty cool because you can begin to see that there is what we could call a true nature path, a who you really are path, an authentic self. And a lot of the times we are basing our decisions in life based on emotional bias or attachments. Because again, sometimes it's too much of a burden to walk through the fire of life to experience clarity, to step into the unknown, traverse through the unknown to experience clarity and attract more of what we're asking for. And we can experience that especially when we're going our separate ways with someone that we love so much. Something that I've thought about, and I'm sure you can relate to, is that going your separate ways when you're in a relationship with someone can feel so foreign, can feel so unnatural, because if you love that person, they become more than just that romantic relationship. They become a best friend. They become, a family member, a best friend. And so you go from like sleeping next to this person, being with them all the time, to all of a sudden going your own separate ways, and they become a stranger. And so it feels so foreign. So anyways, I'm in this relationship. We both feel like it's time to go our own separate ways. I look in intuitively. I'm like, yeah, our paths are calling to go in different ways, to optimize our lives. It's time for us to go our own separate ways. We're both feeling it, right? I know I just said I looked at it intuitively, but like we're both feeling it. And so, one of these days I intuitively felt this pull. I felt this sickness in my stomach, but I felt intuitively pulled to do this. And I initiate the breakup. Long story short, it was so devastating for me. I was like, we got back together like less than 48 hours. Okay, so it didn't work. But it was so devastating for me that this is where I called upon a higher power. And this part of the story is pretty trippy and mind-blowing because it involves intuition. But I basically call on a higher power, source, right? I want you to think of source as a filler word, wherever you believe we come from. I call on source and I say, source, I need assistance. Okay, this burden is too difficult for me to carry. I need assistance in allowing us to go our own separate ways. So I legitimately say to source, that higher power, wherever you believe we come from, right? I go, I need us to go our own separate ways where it's amicable, number one, where it happens naturally, number two, where it's mutual, number three, and it happens, again, I already said this, but like naturally. It's like a natural thing. Now, at this time, I had just begun developing my intuition. Intuition is something that we all have. And when you develop intuition, you're learning to read energy. Quantum physics says all of life is energy. If all of life is energy, that means time is energy. So the past and the future doesn't really exist. It's all happening all at once. And so we actually have the ability to predict the future, which is pretty cool with intuition. So at that time, I'm just developing my intuition. And my higher self, basically tells me an exact date when that day is going to happen, where we go our own separate ways, me and my romantic partner. Let me just say it the harsh way. Break up, right? I keep saying partner, relationship, separate ways. Anyways, go our own separate ways. And I was like, interesting. So I write that date in my phone and I just let go. I called upon source, my higher self, guides. I needed assistance. Anyways, I put that date down on my phone and I forget about it. The days go by. The days go by, and I'm not thinking about it. We're back together, things are fine. This one night, random night, months later, I start writing a breakup song. Halfway through this breakup song that I'm really enjoying and I'm channeling and I can't stop writing it, because I'm a songwriter, for those who don't know. I'm like, why am I writing a breakup song? I'm in a relationship. Now you gotta remember, I'm not thinking about a breakup because I've already moved on. I gave it to Source. And I look at my phone at that, I go like, wait, when was that day that I heard we were gonna break up? It's the next day. I'm like, I'm not gonna put pressure on this. Like, I'm not putting pressure on this. The next day comes by. We go out to lunch with a friend, me and my partner at the time. The vibes aren't negative, but they're off. It almost felt like we were friends, but like a little bit of there's something off. She felt it too. After that lunch, I get a phone call. It's her. She starts initiating in this very smooth way where it was like mutual, but a breakup. My jaw at this point while I'm on the phone with her is on the phone. Okay, I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, and again, some of you are listening to this, you're like, dude, what? You put it on Source to help you break up with this person. Did Source do it? Is Source in control of our lives? No. I'm a big believer, and I subscribe to this idea that creation or manifestation, even if it's involving you separating from a person, it involves 100% your energy, but also 100% action. In this scenario, this is a situation which I'm sure a lot of you can relate to, where this burden was too difficult for me to carry. I needed assistance. I needed something bigger than me to come in and support me. Source is not in control of our lives, believe it or not. That is misinformation. We are expressions of Source, and we are the creators of our lives. And we are on this planet to realize that Source self and activate our empowerment and stuff. Our empowerment and things of that nature. But there's moments in our life where we can call upon that higher power, and you can actually do this daily to support you in your mission, because I continue to move forward in my life. I continue to let go. And I tapped into a frequency and a vibration that allowed me to tap into more of who I am, and that more of who I really am allowed us to go our separate ways amicably and beautifully. And we went our separate ways on that exact day, exactly how I asked for it to happen. And I want you to take this story and think about your own life. Whenever there have been things in your own life that you've been trying to just stronghold, like, is that the word? Like strong arm. You've been trying to like forcefully either create something, get something. But what if you were to call upon a higher power and ask for some assistance? Give that burden to Source. Give that burden to your higher power, whatever it is you believe in. And it might not be a breakup. Your story might be something else. Okay, and it's not that you're not gonna stop. It's not that you're gonna stop taking aligned action. That's not the story here. The story is sometimes we have to alleviate control. When I forcefully attempted to initiate a breakup, I couldn't carry that burden. It was too emotionally difficult for me. It was difficult for her, right? And I'm not saying all the time to allow yourself to blow in the wind and hopefully you'll break up when times are right. Your story might be different. Maybe you are meant to take initiative and you and your partner go your own separate ways. This is just my story, and I guarantee you there are certain things in your life where you can integrate giving it to a higher power and letting go, okay? So a lot of the times we forget in creation, manifesting or creating an experience that is optimal for you, or getting through hard things, I should say, because I keep talking about breaking up like a manifestation, which is weird to put those two things together. But sometimes we think about getting through hard things that we have to do it on our own. There's a better way I can word that. You're not alone. There's no such thing as being alone, right? Because it's difficult to go through an experience like that because you're like, you're with someone, you have all this support, and all of a sudden you're just stepping into loneliness and all the thoughts associated with loneliness. You have to face all your limiting beliefs, your unresolved emotional wounds, so on and so forth. So I want you to take this again and run. Think about the obstacles and adversity in your life, and how can you begin to just go, you know what? I'm gonna give this to a higher power. I'm gonna give this to source energy, and I'm gonna continue to move forward. I'm gonna do the best that I can and see what happens. You just see what happens, okay? That's my story. And intuition is pretty freaking cool. Like again, this was in the beginning of my intuition journey, and the fact that I predicted it was crazy. I predicted the exact date a friend of mine and their partner were gonna break up, and they were mind blown because theirs thing happened very sort of like, in a way that like no one forced it, and they were just blown away, but that's a whole different story. Thank you for watching this video. I've been posting a video literally every single day for the past, I think 16 days or 17 days. And we were posting every day until we get to 1,000 subscribers. I literally had a difficult time posting today. I'm like, what story can I share? I literally couldn't think, and it challenged me to find this story. I'll probably elaborate more on this story, maybe in a podcast or something, but I want to share it with all of you first, okay? Because you're awesome. Alrighty, friends. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you're someone that wants to develop their intuition, we have a 5-day free intuition series in the show notes. We have a free source clarity community. You can get free meditations, webinars, all that. And then we also have a wait list open for something that's called Source Clarity Club. That's a whole other thing though, but that's in the show notes. Again, thank you so much for watching this video. Stay awesome and authentic. Peace out.